Hola and hello to another episode of Nerdosphere Newsweek. I am your host Corbin. Alongside me is my brother Clayton. As always, the goal of this show is throughout the week, various news breaks in the interwebs regarding movie, TV, video games, and comics. We share that on our various platforms of Twitter and Facebook. I set aside my top 5 stories that I think need to be discussed at this table and brought to your attention. And Clayton kind of reacts to it. We just move on. So, let's dive right in at number 1. John Sim, who played the Master in 2009-2010 of Doctor Who, is coming back as the Master and teaming up with his future incarnation, Missy. He was quoted as saying, "I can confirm that it's true. Thanks to the power of time travel, I'm back," Sim said. "It's always a pleasure to work with this great team of people, and I can't wait for all to see what the Master gets up to in the next series." Stephen Moffat, writer and EP, added, "Nothing stays secret for long in Doctor Who, but you'll have to wait a little bit longer to see exactly what the Master's up to and how he makes his return to that face." It's been a huge pleasure to have fan favorites John Sam and Michelle Gomez face-to-face in the same role. It's not often you get to see a solo personality clash. My reaction to this was, Moffat, you know how to get me back, baby. Because John Sim is the key.
Well, I was totally on board until I didn't realize the new one was still involved.
Well,
that Missy girl or whatever.
But there have been multiple Doctor Who stories that have involved various Master incarnations, and Moffat's all about, like, we should totally do Doctor Who the old way, even though it kind of, like, isn't good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to have him back, definitely, but I don't know how on board I am with a story involving him and Missy, because I'm not a fan of Missy.
Yeah. I can see that.
And I thought Moffat, is this the last season?
This is the last season, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought we were done with him already.
Nope, this is the last season, the Christmas special. Capaldi regenerates into the next Doctor that's going on with Chris to be the new show and the new face.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Number 2, Carrie Fisher passed away late last year after completing her filming scenes on The Last Jedi, and there's been concern and speculation as to how her character would be wrapped up in Episode 9. Her brother Todd Fisher told the New York Daily News that he and Fisher's daughter Billie Lourd have given Disney and Lucasfilm permission to use recent footage of Carrie Fisher in Star Wars Episode 9. Disney made an official statement about the decision not to digitally include Fisher in Star Wars Episode 9 back in January after rumors had been circulating. "We don't normally respond to fan or press speculation, but there is a rumor circulating that we would like to address. We want to assure our fans that Lucasfilm has no plans to digitally recreate Carrie Fisher's performance as the Princess General Leia Organa." Todd later told the publication at an opening night at the gala of the TCM Film Festival in Los Angeles, "Both of us were like, yes, how do you take her out of it? And the answer is, you don't. She's as much a part of it as anything, and I think her presence now is even more powerful than it was, like Obi-Wan. When the saber cuts him down, and he becomes more powerful. I feel like that's what's happened with Carrie. I think the legacy should continue." Fisher wasn't sure how we would see his sister in Star Wars Episode 9. He was quoted saying, "I'm not the only part in that equation," he said, "but I think the people deserve to have her. She's owned by them." So,
it's pretty cool. It also, I think Disney came out originally and said, no, we're not going to digitally recreate Carrie Fisher because those rumors started circulating right after she died.
Right.
And it was probably the smart thing to say, no, we are not going to replace this beloved person. You know what I mean? And now that everything's settled, now it's the family coming out saying, you know, this is basically her legacy. She needs to be involved in whatever capacity. It's probably not out of the realm of possibility that we'll see whatever scenes that they've maybe were going to cut that they had already shot and then maybe using some sort of digital face.
Right.
Maybe, you know.
For Colin Trevorrow's sake, I do hope that doesn't quite derail what was planned in some capacity. I hope it's still some sort of minute arc, but just something that gives us that closure.
Yeah, and I would almost argue the other way and say that her death probably derailed what they had planned. So this maybe frees up the original plan to go forward. So
true. Number 3, die-hard Mulan fans have been fretting about the fact that the live-action remake will not be a musical, since it arguably has some of Disney's best work. I'll make a man out of you.
Time is racing forward.
Hollywood Reporter brings us. Caro has, the director of the Mulan live-action, has had to clarify her previous statement that the remake, not intended to be a musical, will not include any songs several times now. She recently spoke with Movie Phone, adding that a decision had not yet been made, but in a new interview with The Hollywood Reporter to promote her new film, The Zookeeper's Wife, Caro shared that the new Mulan will include music. However, it's unclear the role it will play in the film. The quote is, "No, not at all. I mean, I haven't even started on the movie yet. I haven't seen a single casting yet, and there's these conversations that are still ongoing. The live action is based on that inspirational Chinese ballad and on the animated Disney classic. We're still exploring the role that music's going to play in it, but for sure there will be music." When asked about Disney's ongoing search to find an Asian actress to play Mulan and whether or not she would work with experts on Chinese history and culture for the movie, Caro stressed the importance of cultural authenticity in her approach to all of her work. Of course, in all of my work, that is centered in cultures not my own. I hope that comes through, because that is incredibly important to me. When I made Whale Rider, I saw that to be specific and authentic, to be universal. And I've continued to work in an identical way ever since. As the projects get bigger, the more certain I am the cultural authenticity and specificity is the only way to approach my work. So the music will have a presence. It's not a musical. Singing probably won't happen. It's probably going to be a scored version of certain iconic songs in the movie.
Maybe.
That's kind of what I took away from it. Was like, yes, iconic songs will be present, but not in a musical sense.
We'll see. It's like asking any director, will there be music? Well, yeah, there'll be music. That's kind of what I took away from it. That's not what they're asking. They're asking, will it be a musical? And she dodged it.
Yeah. So. Or maybe it was like Jungle Book, where like two iconic songs were sung and in it, but that movie is not a musical by any means. Or Beauty and the Beast was a musical.
Right.
So, number 4, in the ever-expanding universe that is Marvel Television, it looks like the New Warriors have found a home on Freeform. It's a Disney-owned platform. I don't know what it is.
It used to be ABC Family, which used to be, Fox Family?
Oh. Okay.
Big Wolf on Campus back in the day.
Yes. The Goosebump television show. The New Warriors is also going to star Squirrel Girl, who's going to be the center character, which is interesting because she's an X-Men. But anyways... Freeform Network...
Most powerful mutant.
Most powerful
hero.
I don't know. Freeform Network Executive Vice President Carrie Burke, speaking with The Hollywood Reporter, said that it feels like Marvel and Freeform are a really good fit. The more we got to know Marvel and the more comfortable they got with us as a home for their young adult IP, these conversations became easier. They started to see our strength with young adults, and together we could create a pipeline for content that was specific to our audience that felt younger than what they were going for in the other channels. I wanted to be in business with Marvel when I first got here, but I didn't want to chase them just to chase them. It was important to both of us to find the right characters that felt like they would speak directly to Freeform's audience. The Avengers wouldn't work here, but the about-to-be Avengers would. It's also important to note that Cloak and Dagger that just got greenlit is also going to be on Freeform. And when she was asked, will there be crossovers, she said, maybe.
That's fine. I probably won't watch it. So.
I probably won't either. Who cares about the New Warriors, and who cares about Squirrel Girl, and who cares about
However,
Cloak and Dagger?
Congratulations to Marvel for continuing to expand your empire.
Even though this is Jeff Loeb. Yeah. And... what's his name? I can't even think of his name. The money-grabbing Scrooge that ruins everything. That almost ruined everything.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, anyways.
You're asking the wrong guy.
And number 5, while we're talking about Marvel Television, Jed Whedon was recently asked, will the Inhumans TV show that is also airing ABC cross over with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? And he said, as of right now, there are no tentative plans to allow a crossover as they are trying to build their own world and their own brand. But it doesn't mean that in the future, some crossovers could not happen.
I feel like Marvel Television continues to go against what we originally were told was going to happen, which was one cohesive MCU across TV and movies.
Right.
And now not only is that not really the case, even with the Netflix shows, who just barely reference what happens in the movies.
Right.
But now we've got individual shows on the same network trying to create their own world.
It's actually kind of funny because where Marvel does this so well in films as opposed to DC, I feel like the CW has done a good job at having multiple IP on one channel and feeling like it is all part of one world. Yes, they have that one crossover event in the year, but it's just the way that they talk about things that makes when something happens in the show, sometimes it is said in slight, like very quickly on their show, so it shows you that they are running in tandem with each other and they are both living in this.
And every now and then
world.
they'll name drop each other, just insinuating that they do know about each other's existence. They are friends,
Right.
So,
like, where's we've had 2 seasons of Daredevil, we've had a season of Luke Cage, a season of Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones moving into the Defenders, and there's been no word on nothing on Agents of Shield, even just like a nice little Easter egg. That's crazy. But it is funny that one of the EPs on Spider-Man Homecoming said, as of right now, there is no mentions, but he really wants there to at some point be some sort of very quick mention to the street-level heroes that are on Netflix, whether it be in this movie, post-edit, or in the sequel, because he thinks it's very important for a Spider-Man movie to its some capacity recognize those other street heroes, because they're all in New York together. And I was like, that's kind of cool. And he's on the Sony side of things, too. So
that's good.
To me, that tells me that things are still moving well in their relationships together, and at least someone's like, they are all together, and it would make sense that, the street level superhero would be like, there's some weird ninjas doing flips over in Hell's Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
All right, well, that does it for this week's top 5 stories coming from the Nerdosphere. Remember, each week we post different interesting rumors and news articles throughout our social media sites, whether it be Facebook or Twitter. And then at the end of each week, we take the top 5 and discuss them just like we did here. So be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what your favorite news or rumor from the Nerdosphere this week was. And we'll see you next time.